Have you ever wondered how far a person can go when they simply refuse to give up? When they decide that failure isn't the end, but just another step forward? Elon Musk, a name that symbolizes innovation, risk-taking, and relentless perseverance, didn't just build companies. He built dreams that most people thought were impossible. But the story you know, the billionaire genius, the rockets, the Teslas, is just the surface. The real story lies in the pain, the failures, and the moments when everything seemed lost, yet he kept going. Elon Musk wasn't born into wealth or privilege. He was a shy, introverted kid from South Africa who loved reading books and imagining new worlds. While other kids played outside, Elon spent hours buried in science fiction novels and computer code. At just 12 years old, he created and sold his first video game. It was a small success, but it revealed something powerful about him. Even at that age, he wasn't afraid to create, to take action, and to dream bigger than his surroundings. When he moved to North America, he had almost nothing. No safety net, no powerful connections, just a vision. He studied physics and economics, not because he wanted a safe job, but because he wanted to understand how the universe and the world worked. That curiosity, that hunger to learn, would later become the foundation of his empire. But success didn't come quickly. Elon's first major venture, Zip2, was built in a small rented office where he slept on the couch and showered at the local gym. He worked tirelessly, coding day and night. Eventually, Zip2 was sold for $307 million, and Musk made his first fortune. Most people would have stopped there. Retired young, enjoyed the comfort. But not Elon. His mind wasn't built for comfort. It was built for challenge. He used his earnings to start X.com, which would later become PayPal. Once again, he faced skepticism, competition, and countless setbacks. Eventually, he was forced out of the very company he founded. Imagine that, building something from the ground up, only to be kicked out by your own team. Most people would have walked away, but Elon didn't. He took that pain and turned it into energy for his next idea. When PayPal was sold to eBay, Musk earned over $100 million. And again, instead of playing it safe, he took almost all that money and poured it into two industries that everyone said were doomed to fail: space exploration and electric cars. People called him crazy. Even close friends told him he was making the biggest mistake of his life. But Elon had a belief that humanity could not survive if it stayed on one planet, and that the future of transportation had to be sustainable. SpaceX and Tesla were born not from a desire for profit, but from vision, a vision that demanded everything he had. In 2008, that vision nearly destroyed him. Both Tesla and SpaceX were on the brink of collapse. He had invested everything, financially, emotionally, mentally. SpaceX had failed 3 rocket launches in a row. Each failure cost millions and crushed his team's spirit. Tesla was running out of money. Elon was sleeping on the factory floor, working 120-hour weeks, trying to keep his companies alive. At one point, he had to choose, fund Tesla or SpaceX. He didn't have enough to save both. He described that year as the worst year of my life. His personal life fell apart, investors lost faith, and the media labeled him as another failed dreamer. But when the world doubted him, Elon didn't quit. He took one last gamble, pouring the remaining money into a 4th rocket launch. Everyone thought it was over. But this time, the rocket reached orbit. SpaceX became the first privately funded company in history to do so. A few days later, NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract. That single moment turned everything around. At the same time, Tesla finally started delivering its first cars, vehicles that would change the entire auto industry forever. What looked like an overnight success was actually years of pain, rejection, and persistence. Elon Musk proved something powerful, that greatness doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from embracing it and pushing forward anyway. People often look at Elon now, the billionaire, the innovator, the man behind Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and Starlink, and think he's just lucky. But luck doesn't explain sleeping in factories, risking your last dollar, or facing public humiliation while still believing in your dream. Luck doesn't build rockets that land themselves or cars that drive on clean energy. What built those things was perseverance, vision, and an unstoppable belief in the impossible. Elon Musk once said, "When something is important enough, You do it even if the odds are not in your favor. That's the kind of mindset that separates dreamers from doers. Most people quit when they face failure. Elon learned from it, adjusted, and tried again. He treated each setback as a stepping stone, not a dead end. Think about this. If Elon had quit after PayPal, there would be no reusable rockets, no Tesla revolution, no push toward Mars. He could have lived a quiet, successful life. But he didn't, because he wasn't chasing comfort. He was chasing purpose. His purpose is to push humanity forward, to create a future that once only existed in science fiction. And yes, he's controversial. Yes, he makes mistakes. But that's what happens when you're creating things no one has ever done before. You fail publicly. You fall hard. But you stand up again, stronger, smarter, more determined. So, what can we learn from Elon Musk's story? That perseverance is more powerful than talent. That risk-taking, when driven by purpose, can change the world. And that innovation doesn't come from playing it safe. It comes from stepping into the unknown with courage. The next time you feel like giving up because things aren't working, remember Elon sleeping on a factory floor, borrowing money for rent, watching rockets explode one after another, and still saying, "We're going to Mars." Remember that every great achievement starts as a crazy idea that no one believes in, until someone proves it's possible. Your dream might not be building rockets or cars, but the principle is the same. You might fail, you might get rejected, people might laugh at you. But if you stay consistent, if you learn from every mistake, and if you never stop moving forward, one day, they'll call you a success too. Because the truth is, there's no magic formula. There's no shortcut. Success isn't overnight. It's years of invisible effort, of taking risks, and refusing to give up, just like Elon did. So don't wait for motivation to find you. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Take the risk. Be consistent. And one day, you'll look back and realize that everything you dreamed of started with one thing: the decision to keep going when everyone else stopped. And before you go, remember this: success doesn't happen overnight, and neither did Elon's story. It's built one step at a time, one risk at a time, one act of perseverance at a time. If this video inspired you to keep going, to take that next step even when no one believes in you, then don't let it end here. Hit that subscribe button, because on this channel, we don't just talk about success. We study it, we live it, and we grow together. Leave a comment with what you're working toward, your dream, your goal, and maybe one day, your story will inspire millions too. Thanks for watching. Stay consistent, stay driven, and I'll see you in the next video.